So Teri, I have some questions I am going to ask you. And the first one I would like to ask is, when and where were you born?
I was born at Mount Carmel Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, on December 26, 1956. I was the second child to have that room of the same mother. My mother had the same recovery room for all four of us.
That's awesome. So you've lived in Grandview all your life?
Yes.
How has the community changed over the years since you were in high school?
I guess you could say it kept up with the times. When I was young, it seemed like everybody was walking or riding bikes and spending a lot of time outside in the summertime, and gangs of kids just playing. Our neighborhood was very much like that. When the street lights came on, you went home. When I raised my children, there wasn't so much kids running around outside, at least in our neighborhood, because there were lots of things to do. You didn't have to make up your own fun. There was fun to be had. But, you know, I think it always has kept up with the times, whatever it needed to be.
That's great. What was high school like for you?
A blast. I don't remember much about academics. I wasn't there for that, it seemed, but I got through it. I was involved in a lot. I kept myself busy that way. During school time, I got my studies done. I never flunked, but I was involved in a lot of things, and I think that was the social part of high school was the thing that was what I did. You know, some people are musical, some people are athletic, but I was social.
Tell us more about the sports that you were involved in.
Well, we had a club called GAA, stood for Girls Athletic Association, and that was divided up into all kinds of different sports. Some of them were ones that if you weren't on the varsity team, you could still participate in that. So we did lots and lots of intramurals. I did many of those, along with, I played field hockey and basketball and ran track, and I think my senior year I played volleyball on the third team. Maybe it was my junior year, but anyway, you know, if you wanted to play, you could play, and I did.
It was unusual during the 70s for girls to play sports on a team with boys, and I understand girls and boys both participated in track.
Yes, we had the girls team and the boys team, but we trained at the same facility at sort of the same time. It got to be, when Title IX passed when I was a freshman, so freshman year we could only play half-court basketball, and then after that, you know, we could go full court. And so you know, I don't remember a whole lot about half court because I was just a freshman and on the way JV team, and then I was really just a what do you call them, a dummy on the court. You know, a practice dummy, that's what I'm looking for. But as the times went on and you advanced in your skills, and it got to be more like, well, what basketball is today, of course, but just sort of the growing pains part of it with all of that. We had second fiddle to the varsity team. There was no, you know, we got it when the boys were done, and but it was fun, and it was a social event for me. I was never very good at it, but I was tall and I could defend, so that was where I was.
Did you have a favorite out of all the sports that you played?
Track. Yeah, I enjoyed track a lot. It was outside. It was something that came natural to me. I was a jumper and a hurdler, and I set the school record for the high jump, which wasn't hard to do because it was a new sort of sport. And then because I loved the sport, I came back and coached the girl that broke my record. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was. We had very little equipment then. We jumped into a mesh bag of, well, it wasn't even mesh, it was a string bag of styrofoam strips, and you'd fluff it up when you were done jumping. And the long jump was a sand pit that they thought they would soften it somewhat with shavings from the wood shop. So that was all mixed together, and you raked and dug that, and that was kind of fun to jump in and get all sandy. And we had a cinder track, which was not fun to hurdle on. I think I still have stuff in my knees, but girls didn't run very far in those days. Our hurdle race was 70 yards instead of 100, and I believe I still hold the record for that because they don't run it anymore. But yeah, I like track, I guess, because I did well at it. It was a natural thing for me.
Did you have regional and state meets at that time?
That happened in 1975, the beginning of that. I graduated in 1974.
So you just missed it.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Larry Larson took a group of kids in summer, they called it summer track for a few years, to an AAU meet, and it was at Ohio Stadium. So that was fun. That was kind of big time, and you won medals and ribbons, which you didn't do. You didn't get any of that in a high school meet. But that was a lot of fun. I remember going to a couple of those. I still have my ribbons and medals.
That's awesome. So tell us about band.
Oh gosh, band was a lot of fun. We got to take a bus to away games, and we'd sing, and there were certain songs that you sang, and they rhymed with your name, and my name is Teri. So there was lots of things that rhymed with Teri.
That's an easy word to rhyme.
Yeah. And our band director was very strict, but a lot of fun. And we did concert band contest. We didn't do any marching band stuff for contest, but concert band. And I don't think we ever got a 2. 1 is the best. And that was something that we prepared for sort of all year. It was in the spring, or all after marching band season. So we got to perfect something. And I think that was an important thing to play. I think there were 3 songs that you played, and they had to be certain, I don't know who chose the songs, but to be able to perfect that, and each song showcased a section of the band, so it showed your strength. And we had a wonderful band and a lot of good musicians, and the director certainly knew how to make the band shine. I'll say that. She expected a lot, and if you give me a minute, I'll tell you what she always said. Results, not excuses. And that's something that I used with my kids, and you don't make excuses. Give the result that you're expected to give. But she was a lot of fun, and we still get together with her every once in a while too, at reunions and things. She left after my senior year. She said we did her in. But I mean, all of the kids were close to her, and she had some of our mothers were her good friends. It ended up, and they're still in contact. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, band was a lot of fun. A lot of work, but a lot of fun. We didn't get to come after school or anything, or we had one period of class, and that's all we got. And you had to get over to the field and back. And I remember one year we had it first period, and some years we had it fourth period, and some years we had it seventh period. But I can't remember what or why or any of that. That was a long time ago. But I do remember marching in the morning and having wet feet. So you had to bring marching shoes to change.
That's something you never forget.
Yeah, wet feet, yeah.
What instrument or instruments did you play?
I played the flute, and I got to play the piccolo in marching band, and then eventually in concert band. And I really enjoyed that. I was never all that great at it, but I could play along. I couldn't sight read. That's one of the things we had to do in that concert. The competition was you played 3 songs, then they took you into this room and you got like 15 minutes to go over the song and play a few sections of it and then play it for the judges. And it was never my forte, but I faked it as best I could.
That's tough. What did you do after the school day was finished?
Well, if it was sports season, which generally it was, you went to work out, and you were usually done and home by 5:30 or so. Eat dinner, do homework, go to bed, get up and do it all again. As it was Friday night, then you went back to, for football, they had spreads, and a couple parents would get together and feed the band, and everybody came, and generally it was sloppy joes and potato chips and something to drink, and brownies or some cookies or something like that. Sure. And it was the same thing all the time. We didn't care. We were just all together.
Right.
And you went and ate, and then you went to school and got on the bus, and at halftime we got apples. The other band would treat you to an apple, and we'd always have our own little competition. I'm going back and forth, but things come to me.
That's all right.
We would have a battle of the bands, so to speak, and it was just pretty much us. They didn't know that they were being compared, but we always won. And except the Bexley band, because the 2 directors were friends, and I think they might have collaborated on the shows. So we did one that they did before or something, so they didn't have to do all of them. That's my guess looking back. But there were times when she would kind of say, I don't know about this one. And then there were times when she said, we nailed that. We won this one. But we got to, if you were an officer in the band, you were the one that got to throw apples to the other band, and you didn't throw them, you tossed them. Yeah, so we'd get this big box of apples and throw that. That was fun. Just something silly.
That's a fun memory.
Yeah, we made brownies for the other team in field hockey too. What was that all about? We didn't have tea.
The sugar high to run.
Well, that was afterwards, I guess. No protein in that.
What did you typically wear to school?
Well, we kind of dressed up, but we were allowed to wear pants. You couldn't wear jeans that I remember. I don't remember wearing jeans. I sewed a lot of my clothes, or maybe I didn't, but I remember the things I sewed because bell bottoms were in style, and there was a real easy pattern that you could have just ginormous bell bottoms. And I remember I had a pink and green and yellow, and I don't remember what other pastels, plaid pair of bell bottoms that I made. And then you put ribbon, not really ribbon, but some kind of pretty stuff on the bottom, and you made a belt to match. So that was kind of the hippie part. That was probably freshman, sophomore year. But we wore dirndl skirts and jumpers and knee socks. I don't think we wore penny loafers. I don't remember wearing tennis shoes to school. You sort of dressed up. You always people combed their hair, went in the bathroom and teased it and squirted it with hairspray. Got that big hair, so to speak, in the bouffant kind of. That was passe, but the flip was in. I never had long enough hair to do a flip. But yeah, people dressed up. People dressed up.
Very different from today.
Yeah.
Were there specific rules about the length of hair, the length of a dress?
Now that you say that, the dresses were short, and I remember mine weren't that short as I remember it. But if you needed to drink water, you bent your knees or held your skirt from behind to make sure that it didn't ride up. It seems to me boys couldn't have their hair, wasn't supposed to touch their collars. But David Throckmorton had long hair, now that I think of it. But most people were pretty clean cut. I mean, boys' hair was long in those days.
Right.
But nobody wore a ponytail like that. Most girls' hair was long, but they were all different styles. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot of stringent rules. I'm sure people got sent home for clothes, but I don't remember.
Well, obviously you didn't, or else you probably would have remembered.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you haven't told me but would want to tell me now before we end?
The best thing I got in high school was my husband.
I didn't realize that. So your husband was in the same class as you?
He was a grade ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah, we started dating when I was a sophomore. He was a junior. And we've kept it up for a long time now.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Truly.
Because I serve on the alumni board for the high school, I'm aware of really all of the couples that are still together that graduated from Grandview. Whether they dated in high school or not, I'm not sure, but the ones around my age I know did. And it's really kind of cool to see how many folks are together.
Yeah, I think that's awesome today.
Yeah. I'm happy to talk when my memory gets jogged, but I spent a lot of time at the pool in the summer, and I have memories of going to the playground in the summer, and they had playground leaders who would make cast molds of things, animals, and we would paint them with tempera paint and give them to my Aunt Mary. She loved them. And they'd play games and have organized activities. We went down there a lot. We only lived a long block from, just 3 doors from Stevenson, so we went to the playground at Pierce Field. Then we'd come home and get lunch and go to the pool for the afternoon. And then eat dinner, come home and eat dinner, and then go play with the kids in the neighborhood again.
Sure.
But I think I kind of had a storybook childhood. Don't ask my mom. She might have a different story. I don't know, but I think I was a pretty happy child, and I don't remember the bad stuff, if there was any.
Well, I think that's the best approach to have. You remember all the positives, and Grandview is a great place to grow up.
Yeah, it is, and it's a good place to be. There are a lot of places it's good to be from.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be at Grandview.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we will end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was painless.
I'm glad.